Hi, and welcome to We All Have a Story. I am Jennifer, and this is a colon cancer update. Um, it's been a really, really long time since I've updated this channel. Not because things have been going bad necessarily, just because I've been busy. I'm a single mom and a real estate agent, and got a lot of things going on. So, just haven't had the time or the energy to do the videos. But a lot has happened cancer-wise since I last updated you. Not really sure where I left off, but I will just start from where things kind of changed. So, back in April, I was going through right about my 6th round of chemo. And, I asked the question, how do we know this is working? And they just kept saying, oh, well, we're not going to check you again until after you're done with your 12 rounds. I'm like, but what if it's not working? Why would I go through 12 rounds of chemo if it's not working? So the doctor did some blood work on me, and one marker that she looked for was called CEA, which is, I don't remember what it is, but basically it's like measuring the I think the number of baby cancer cells in your body. And normal range is between 0 and 3. And when they did that, mine was at 79.6 or something like that. So they did a CAT scan and found that I have lesions on my liver, 3 different lesions on my liver. And by the time I made it to my 6th round of chemo, I had gotten to the point to where I kind of really didn't want to continue with chemo anyway. Um, it just seems so horrific, really. To me, okay, so I try to come at things as much as I can from a spiritual point of view. I'm a Christian. I believe in the power of Jesus Christ. I believe that He is um, the keeper of my soul. I believe that He will determine whether I live or die. No matter what I do, He's going to determine whether I live or die. So chemotherapy to me just felt very demonic. It just did. It felt like there's a scripture in Bible that talks about calling evil good and good evil. And that's what chemo felt like to me. And, I couldn't help but think that, my body is a temple of the Lord. And to heal my body, I'm counting on poison to heal my body. I'm putting poison into this temple and expecting to be healed. Now we can cut away from the spirituality of it and go into the, secular aspect of it. And, do some people get cured by using chemotherapy? Some do. But only about 2% of people get cured, and I'm sorry for the wiggly, get cured from chemotherapy and stay cured. Only about 2%. Most people, they might get cured, but then it'll come back, and often it'll come back with a vengeance. It'll come back more powerful. And after learning some of these things, I just kind of got to the point, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do chemo anymore. Here's the thing. Chemo, I'm a single mom. I can't be sick. If I'm going to be sick because I'm dying, well, that's something I can't control. But I can control how I feel before I'm dying, before I get to the dying phase. I don't have to be sick. I don't have to do chemo. And I can find other things to do. So I told my doctor that I don't want to do chemo. And I'm going to tell you all the things that I am doing and that I'm going to do. And honestly, I could feel and see God's hand through all of this. My hair is driving me nuts. I don't like it. I could see His hand through all of this, just in so many ways. He's coming through with the money situation for me, which I'm not a prosperity gospel kind of person. I don't believe in name it and claim it kind of person. I just believe, God, take care of this. I'm leaving it in your hands. Well, He's come through on kind of the money situation. Some of my doctor bills were kind of magically paid by a by my insurance. There's a charity that my insurance has, and that charity paid for about, I don't know, 80-90% of my medical bills. So he's pulled through on that through a GoFundMe, which I will link at the bottom of this video, and through a nonprofit organization. He's, people, good-hearted people, some I don't even know, have provided financial assistance that will help me get treatment down in Tijuana. Just found out yesterday about a clinic in Tijuana. At one time I looked at this clinic in Arizona, and you have to go and you have to stay for a month, and it's $30,000 for that month. And then they release you, and you don't even know you're done. You don't even know if you're going to be cured. So, say hello to Rocky. Hello. My sweet kitty. And so I was like, well, that ain't an option for me. I'm not doing that. I don't have $30,000 just throw away on a treatment that I don't even know if it's going to work. But the treatment down in Tijuana, you only go for one day, and they do a bunch of tests on you, CAT scans, all these different scans, and blood work and everything. And they look at your blood work, they look at all your scans, they look at all your history, and then they develop a treatment plan for you. It's holistic, it's natural, it is not traditional medicine. And then they provide you with a treatment plan, and they send you home with it. So there's this tonic, it's called the Hoxie tonic, and it was made by this man whose last name was Hoxie. And he was doing this in the 60s and got kicked out of the United States because he was healing people with non-traditional methods. And so he went down to Mexico, I guess, and created a clinic down there. And so they send you home with the Hoxie tonic, they send you home with the diet plan, they send you home with supplements, and that's 6 months worth of supplements. And the amount of money that I've gotten from the charities and stuff is enough to kind of cover that for 6 months. And so it's kind of like, one day at a time, so 1 6-month period at a time. I'm just going to trust that the God will provide me with the money in the coming 6 months. So I'm going to go down there. I'm going to start on that. And before I found out about them, there's this integrative health clinic here in town that I went to. I didn't feel real good about them, though. They did start me on some supplements. I do want to show you the supplements that they've got me on. So this is one that I take twice a day. This is zinc glycinate. I don't know what it's for, honestly, but I take this twice a day. And then I take vitamin D3 once a day, but she probably will want me to take more than one a day because my vitamin D levels are kind of low. And then I take this one twice a day, Zymozyme, some kind of enzyme. Not really sure what it's for. I should ask these questions, but when you ask this lady a question, she will go on for 20-30 minutes, and you never really get to so that's why I'm not real sure I want to go with them. This is Buterin. I take that twice a day. That is a colon supplement. It's not. There we go. Colon lining nutrition. And then I take that twice a day, and then I take this 3 times a day. This is citrus pectin. This, I know, is supposed to keep cancer from metastasizing. I don't think it's working. I'm going to continue taking it, because sometimes these natural things, they take a while to work. They don't necessarily work right away. So I'm going to continue. This is supposed to citrus pectin. So I take that 3 times a day in 8 ounces of water. And it's kind of tastes like sweet lemonade. It's lime flavored, but I don't like it. But I don't like artificially flavored drinks very much. So, I'm knocking over all my stuff. So I take that, and then my doctor has me on a blood thinner because at the time that Pradaxa, at the time that I had my scan, I found out that I had a blood clot over by my spleen, something like that. So I'm on a blood thinner for that. They want me to go on metformin. I don't want to go on metformin. There is a natural version of metformin that I could go on, but that's like $90 a month. All this stuff here is already like $200 a month. So I'm kind of reluctant to go with that. So I'm going to wait until I get down to Tijuana and maybe they will give me something for the blood sugar. My blood sugar's a little high. It's like in the pre-diabetic stage. I'm like at my A1C is something like 5.8, but that's where it's been for a long time. Like ever since I started this whole process, my A1C has not moved. That's where it's been the whole time. So I'm not too worried about my blood sugar, except the more sugar you have in your blood, the more fuel you have for cancer. So I do want to get the blood sugar down just for that reason. So I feel good. How do I feel? I feel good pretty much all the time. Ever since I quit chemo, um, I feel a lot better. When I was on chemo, it was just so awful. It's just so awful. Like I said, it just feels so demonic to me. It feels like torture, like they're just trying to torture you. And I could tell you there are so many side effects. And I can't remember if I went over all the side effects in my last video. But there's cold sensitivity to where you can't eat or drink anything cold. You can't touch cold things. It feels like an electric shock going through your hand. It feels like you got concrete and pricklies in your mouth if you drink something cold. I got this thing called hand-foot syndrome, where my hands and my feet were kind of turning red and orange, and they were getting dry and cracked. I had what was called first bite syndrome, where when you go to eat something, you get this horrible, awful, terrible, terrible pain in your jaw on both sides. And you have to just kind of push through it because it only lasts for like the first, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, and then it goes away. But it's awful. And then, you have all this inflammation all throughout your body, everywhere, inflammation everywhere. You get acid reflux and hiccups all the time because it's hard to kind of swallow because everything in there is just swollen. Of course, my hair started falling out. It didn't fall out as much as a lot of chemos do. I lost maybe 50 to 70% of my hair. It is starting to grow back, I believe. It's not quite as see-through as it was before, thankfully. And then, of course, the extreme fatigue, the absolute extreme fatigue, where on the third, fourth, and fifth day, you are just wiped out. And you're dry. I remember just everything, I just felt so dry. It was just awful. It was just awful. To me, that's not living. And and especially if it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So after 3 months of chemo, my CEA, which is that marker, jumped from when I first was diagnosed with cancer and there was no treatment going on whatsoever. My number was at 36 point something, and then that was in October, and then in April. And in April, my number jumped up to 79.6 after I'd been doing chemo for 3 months. And then the next month, after I quit chemo, the number dropped to like 46 point something. I was like, oh, yay, that's good. And then I just got my numbers back tonight, and they're up to like 99, 96 point something. So one other thing I'm doing is called Essiac-T. And Essiac is the name spelled backwards of the woman who created it. And her name is Renee Cassie. And this is supposed to really work. But they tell you if you don't have 6 months to live, there's no point in doing it because it's going to take about 6 months for it to start working. So it's now there's a fight in the Essiac-T community between the 4-herb formula and the 8-herb formula. The 4-herb formula says that the 8-herb formula people aren't genuine, and the other one said that yes it is, and it's just a fight. And I decided to do the 8-herb formula simply because the people who produce it treated me a lot better than the people that produce the 4-herb formula. And it's cheaper, and I figure more can't hurt, right? So they give you big packets of herbs. They're powdered herbs, and you put it in 134 ounces of water, boiling water, and you boil it for 10 minutes, and then you stir it up real good, and then you leave it sitting for 12 hours. And that makes about a gallon. And you take, if you don't have serious disease, you take 3 ounces 3 times a day. If you have serious disease, you take 6 ounces 3 times a day. I also mix that with no sugar added organic pomegranate juice because it tastes awful. And the pomegranate juice helps it to taste better and goes down easier. And pomegranate juice also has a lot of antioxidants in it. So it could help me too. So that's what I'm doing for now. Maybe it's not enough, and so I guess I probably need to be, you know, looking for the Tijuana people, and hopefully that they will provide me with. And the good thing is they're providing me with a diet plan as well, which I'm nervous about because I'm a single mom and I'm a real estate agent, and I'm in and out, running around all the time. I don't always have time to be making meals, especially diet plan meals that are restrictive, and I don't know how to go about doing that. I'm worried about that, but we will see how it goes. I feel good about my plan. I do. I feel like it's going to work. I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. That it's not going to work quickly. It's going to be very slow working. But I feel like it's going to work, and I feel like I'm going to be cured. And this is the first time I've been able to. I go through cycles. So I'll go through a cycle where I feel confident that I'm going to be cured and everything's going to be fine. And then I'll go through a cycle where I'm like, why would God cure me? I think of, there's a guy I go to church with, his wife died of colon cancer. And I'm like, well, God didn't cure her. Why would he cure me? I'm not a better Christian than she is. I'm not any more deserving of being cured than she is. Why would God cure me? I think of people like Nabil Qureshi, which many of you probably don't know who that is, but he was a Christian who was a convert from Islam. He wrote a book called Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus, and he became a very on fire for God Christian. He preached at graduation ceremonies, and he went to colleges and preached to young people because that was his passion, was preaching to young people and getting them on fire for Christ. And he died at 30, I think 3, with a 1-year-old daughter, of stomach cancer. God didn't cure him. Why would God cure me? So this is what goes through my head. And so I feel like, and then I start getting down. I'm like, well, why would God cure me? God's not going to cure me. He didn't cure them. Why would he cure me? I'm going to die too. But I just, you just don't know. God has a plan for everybody, and I don't know what his plan was for them and why he took them home early. And I don't know what his plan is for me. I don't know that he's going to plan to take me home early, or if he's going to let me live. I kind of feel like, who was it, Hezekiah in the Bible? I think it was Hezekiah, who he was dying, and he turned towards the wall and prayed to God for more time. And God gave him 15 more years. And that's kind of what I need. I need at least 13 more years so that I can raise my daughter. If I can get to the point to where she's grown and out on her own, then, if God wants to take me, then fine. I mean, if he wants to take me at any time, then fine. Nothing I can do about it. And that's his choice and his decision. But if he would give me at least 13 more years, I feel like at least I can die confident that my kids will be okay. So that's where I am right now. I feel good most days. I do feel, some things going on in my body. Like I've got some numbness in my fingertips. I've got some numbness in my toes. I don't know, because that started like 2 months after chemo. So I don't know if that's a chemo thing, or maybe some of the stuff I'm taking is causing that. I don't know. I should probably ask somebody about that. I do have some pain in different parts of my body from time to time, but it's minimal. It's not anything serious. My bowels are good. I don't have headaches or anything. I don't feel sick or nauseous. I have somewhat decent energy. Like today I showed 3 houses and it was hot out today. It was in the 80s. And I got home and I was pretty tired. I was pretty wore out. I went and took a nap. I was only going to take a nap for like an hour. I think I took like a 2-hour nap. I struggled to get out of that 2-hour nap. But that could just be anything. I'm not a thin person. It could just be my weight. It could be the fact that my blood sugar's a little bit high. Could be any number of things. Or it could be the cancer. I don't know. Everything seems blurry right now. But whatever the case may be, right now I'm in a positive cycle. I feel positive. I feel like God is leading me to the places where I need to go. With these people, these integrative health people here in town, I just didn't get a good feeling from them. I mean, I did take the supplements that they recommended, um, but I haven't done their treatments, and I just kept putting that off because I just didn't feel right. And usually, when I get that nagging feeling in my gut, I go with it because I feel like that's the Holy Spirit telling me no, that's not for you. And so I think it's because they were going to show me this place in Tijuana. So I'm going to call them Monday, set up an appointment to go down there. Um, and I feel good. I feel positive and confident that God's going to lead me to something that will cure me. I don't know why I feel that way. I don't feel like I deserve it any more than anyone else. But I think since, I'm coming at this from a spiritual point of view, and the whole thing has been, the whole thing has been more about, is what I'm going to do, is it going to honor God? Is putting that poison in this temple that he has given me, is that really what I should be doing? And I just didn't feel like it was. So maybe because I'm trying to honor him through this, and maybe he will heal me. The prayers are very much welcome. I would love your prayers. If anyone is watching this, I am going to link my GoFundMe down at the bottom. I could use some funds for my healthcare going forward. Right now I'm kind of covered, but going forward it's going to be about $6,000, roughly $6,000 a year to do the treatment in Tijuana. And I'm covered for the first 6 months. So I might even be covered for the second 6 months. But they intend to keep you in their program for 5 years. They look to treat you for 5 years. And then they would expect within 5 years the cancer will be gone. So, to me, and then that's another reason why I feel confident, because they're not just blowing sunshine up my backside. They're not going to say, oh, it's going to be miracle cure and you're going to be cured in 2-3 months. They're like, no, this is going to be a long haul thing. But, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I can just stay healthy enough until things start working, that's my prayer right now. Because I'm a little nervous. I've been on the SEACT for 2 months. They say it takes about 4 to 6 months before you start seeing positive benefits. So I've still got at least 2 to 4 months before I can start seeing anything. And a lot can happen in cancer in 2 to 4 months. So prayers that God will keep me strong over the next 2 to 4 months. And that's what I'm going to do. And, I'm at a place right now where I have decided that if this doesn't work and it doesn't cure me, then I probably couldn't have been cured anyway. Chemo wasn't doing the trick. And so I probably couldn't have been cured anyway. So at least this way, for however long I have to live, I will probably feel pretty good until right at the end. Where chemo, you're going to feel like garbage for maybe 2, 3, 4 years, and then you get really bad and then you die. I don't want to feel like garbage. I want to be there healthy enough to take care of my daughter and not have to worry about, what if I'm too sick to take care of her? And then I got to send her over to her dad's house, and that's not an option. He is not a parent, and we won't go there. You can watch some of my other videos for that. So that's where I am. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I've known I've had cancer for 8 months, and I still feel okay. I haven't done treatment for almost 3 months, traditional treatment for almost 3 months, and I still feel okay. So, praise God. Praise God. I feel good. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have a story of your own, feel free to share. If you are so inclined to give to my GoFundMe, I would really appreciate it, or share with other people who like to give to these sort of things. But if you can't afford it, don't do it, because you've got your own life to think about, and I don't want you giving to me when you've got your own stuff to think about. So that's where I am right now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring enough to get all the way to the end. And I'll see you hopefully a lot sooner than I saw you last time. Take care and God bless. P.S. One other thing that I'm doing that I forgot to tell you about, and I need to tell you about this because a really amazing person is providing this to me, at least for now. I'm also doing what's called Tahitian noni juice, which I take an ounce of that twice a day. Um, it's supposed to have some really good cancer-fighting components in it. It's from the noni tree in Tahiti, I guess. They also have them in Hawaii, but it's Tahitian noni juice, and it's $60 a bottle. And my friend is supplying it to me for like 2 bottles a month. I told her, I was like, if you can't keep that up, please let me know. Don't keep paying for that. I will, try to pay for it as best I can. So um, she sells it, and maybe I'll link to her information down below too, in case maybe you want to purchase some things from her. She sells a lot of holistic type things from some company. I'm not sure what her company name is, but I'll look it up and put it in the description below. So noni juice as well. So 3 drinks that I do a day. One's only 1 ounce, one's 6 ounces, and one's 8 ounces 3 times a day. Well, I do the noni juice twice a day. So just wanted to add that in there. Did not want to forget about that because that's also very important. Thank you. See you later. Bye.